What's going on with people, bro? We're back with another stream, May 14th, 8:45 p.m. a.m. Not p.m. a.m. Uploaded a short yesterday, and on my stream yesterday, I really went in on these keyboard warriors that are just look more and more ridiculous by the day, and people can take a pretty good guess on who I'm talking about here, on the people that I'm talking about here. It's really one specific person, but other people are starting to, when they see someone doing something, they want to add their take into it and just continue to abuse people online because they're reporting stuff they're hearing, or they're just giving their takes on how they feel about the club right now. And I'm not going to call them out by names or anything like that. And if they're watching on Twitter, they're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or whatever, this message is specifically for you, bro. You don't want to see this club back to where it's supposed to be. You're actually helping out Blue Coat. I mean, it's great that you're exposing the financial situation and what's going on. That's great, because as fans and people that don't understand the finances of the club, it's good that you're doing this. But when you start taking shots at people personally, and you're calling them out by name, and you're calling them brown envelopes, and you're calling them all these other names and shit, you're not any better, bro. You're not any better. Realistically, man, you guys need to knock it off with this shit. Like, honestly, like, I don't understand why it's getting to the point of you won't say this to their faces. You won't say this to them in person. You won't even get behind the camera like me and say shit to people. You're just going on Twitter, typing away, just trying to make people feel like shit for reporting news that they're hearing, and having hope that a certain manager will come in who we will be diving into after I get into Joao Pedro. But knock it off, bro. It's getting ridiculous. Like, do you understand that you're actually helping Blue Co out with the enabling of a fan divide, rather than actually caring about the well-being of a lot of the fans that care about the what's going on with the stuff on the field? The financial situation, the owners, that is parked to the side. My question is still, to this day, I'm in support of all the protests going on, but where were these protests earlier on in the season if you really gave a fuck about what's going on? Why is it taking till now to do it? Why are we doing it during a cup final weekend for the international audience to see how much us Chelsea fans hate this ownership? You've had multiple opportunities earlier on in the season when Enzo Maresca was still the manager, when Pochettino was the manager. It's funny because I was listening to one of my old podcasts I used to do on Spotify about 2-3 years ago, and I was listening to myself back then. I still have the same energy now, talking about the ownership and about how the recruitment strategy is horrific. And I can even play that for you guys, to be honest with you. I'm speaking on Mason Mount. I'm speaking on a lot of these players here that just weren't good enough to be at the club and that were underperforming. Speaking on Graham Potter about how at that time I was trying to give him a chance. What's going on, bro? How you doing this morning? But I was even speaking on it then, and I'm still speaking on it now. So I think I've been consistent on how much I want Blue Co out of this club, because even back in 2023, their first full year of being at this football club, I was saying that the recruitment strategy is poor. I even heard myself speak about Moises Caicedo and about how Enzo Fernandez needs him as his partner in midfield 3 years later. 3 years later, we're still hearing, I'm still, I still have the right opinion on what the midfield duo should be and what midfield should be at this club. It's crazy how I saw this stuff happening 3 years ago with certain players come to the club and how it would make it better. Speaking on Pochettino, speaking on the recruitment and how poor it's been poor ever since. And people still want to say stuff about Roman Abramovich and how the last few years of his ownership was horrific. He won a Champions League in his last few seasons as the owner. Yeah, bro, I spoke on this 3 years ago. I have a podcast on Spotify that I don't do anymore because I transitioned to YouTube, but I was listening to myself then, and I can pull it up for you right now, as a matter of fact, because I was listening to it last night, and it was crazy, man, because it's called Jason's World. It's right here. I don't know if y'all can see that, but let me go ahead and pull something up from this clip speaking on this.
If you're gonna build around Enzo, you need to get the person, not him. Yeah, sure, he scored that goal in the Champions League final against Man City, but if you Enzo Fernandez deserves to have the partner that he's been looking for since he came to Chelsea. Now, a lot of people thought it would be N'Golo Kante, it would be Mateo Kovacic, Jorginho. Let me just say this now. If you're going to build around Enzo, you need to get the person that is going to be next to him for the next 7-8 years. And you're looking at Moises Caicedo. Now, he's had 1 year in the Premier League, and everyone's saying,
look how I'm speaking about Moises Caicedo back then.
Than Declan Rice. He's not better than Declan Rice. Declan Rice has been in the Premier League now. He's going on his 5th or 6th season now. After basically dragging West Ham out of relegation twice in 3 or 4 seasons. Helped them win the Conference League. We played Liverpool in about 18.
What I'm trying to prove here, guys, is that I saw this shit early on about the recruitment. And the recruitment back then was poor, and the recruitment now is poor. Moises Caicedo, I spoke on it in that, was the best defensive midfielder in the league that season. Right? The best defensive midfielder in the league that season. That's really the only signing since that point that has actually come good. Outside of Enzo Fernandez, this is the only signing that has come good in the past 3 seasons. You can say Joao Pedro, but Joao Pedro's had 1 good season with us. I want to see what he does next season if he stays at Chelsea. Right? My point here is that it doesn't matter about who we hire as manager. The owners still have to go. I was saying this 3 years ago, and I'm saying this now. You bring in Xabi Alonso, it's going to mask over the fact that the ownership is still trying to gaslight this fan base. And then you're seeing stuff about Rock Nation and Jay-Z are linked up now. I'm not the biggest fan of Jay-Z. I think Jay-Z is one of the worst rappers of all time, if I'm being completely honest with you. But this shows how much this ownership doesn't care about the club. They're trying to go out to a broader audience in the United States. There's a ton of Chelsea fans out here in the United States, bro. We don't need Jay-Z's money in at all. We don't need Rock Nation to be bringing players in here. We really, really don't. But I'm going to get off of that for a second, bro, because I'm going to just say this one last time. The people that are abusing the Chelsea fans online, you guys really need to stop, bro. You guys are just as bad. And I'll say him by name, Bobby Fairview, bro. You're just as bad, if not worse. You're probably the worst in the fan base right now, not in regards in what you're reporting and what you're exposing, but how you're conducting yourself, bro. I don't care if you're going on Eunice's channel, Goonies, Johnny. I don't give a fuck about any of that, bro. How you're conducting yourself outside of that is absolutely ridiculous. It's immature. And for a guy that wants the best for the club, we should all be united in trying to get Blue Co out. But let me go ahead and get into Joao Pedro, bro, because I'm going to go off on these people. And I appreciate the people joining in on Twitter, joining on YouTube, joining in on Twitch. We're trying to build a following. We're trying to build some type of community on this side of the pond because, honestly, I'm trying to unite Chelsea fans here. I'm not trying to divide the fan base. And that's something that needs to be talked about. Right? So Joao Pedro is being linked all over the place now with Barcelona and all this. How are they going to get the money to even do this, right? My thing is, I don't know what you're typing in the chat, bro, but it is what it is. Anyway, like you got people in the chat just typing out random things. I see your comments, bro. I really, really do, but I want to see some English in here. I want to see something that I can read and react to. Let's go ahead and jump into this real quick, bro. Joao Pedro. Now, Barcelona are doing everything they can to disrupt his time here at Chelsea. It says the Blues are not planning to consider any offers for Joao Pedro from any clubs. That is specifically Barcelona. Now the Barcelona pages are saying that they're going to up their efforts in trying to sign him if Julian Alvarez isn't feasible. How are you going to sign him if you can't get Julian Alvarez? Joao Pedro has already lightly come out and said that he's not thinking about any other clubs outside of Chelsea and his preparation for with Brazil in the World Cup. This is just more distractions that the club doesn't really need in pushing out the ownership. Now, Xabi Alonso, on the other hand, positive talks with him seem to be going very, very well. Talks with him seem to be going very, very well. And I saw a post from JNR saying that Xabi Alonso is actually interviewing us. We're not interviewing him. That's a great take on it because he wants to see how serious the club is in trying to get back to the pinnacle of the Premier League, which Chelsea are now going on 10 years, 10 seasons without winning a Premier League title. That's unacceptable. We're going into Manchester United territory. Arsenal are on the verge of winning the Premier League. They may end their drought after 20-something years. My whole thing is this. If you plan on selling Joao Pedro, you need to ask for 120 million plus. Easy. Because he is arguably the most important player of the team. He's our leading goal scorer, our leading guy in terms of goal creations. You take him out of the squad, we've seen how horrific this team is in attack. We really, really have, man. So we go here to Max CFC Pice. A lot of people are shitting on this guy right now for whatever reason because he's a brown envelope. He's a yellow, whatever envelope color you want to call this guy. He's not really a brown envelope. He's just reporting what he's hearing. And if people have a problem with that, you can just scroll past what he's saying. You don't have to pay any attention to it. But people want to sit here and continue to abuse this guy. Xabi Alonso was decided upon the number one option as reported 5 days ago. Chelsea have held positive talks and are not in contact with any other candidate at this stage. So Andoni Iraola right now is the distant second option to Xabi Alonso. The full focus seems to be trying to get him to sign with the club before the World Cup. And from people in the chat, people watching on Twitter, wherever, is Xabi Alonso making the right decision going to Chelsea? Now, Chelsea fans out here are going to say that we need him because the tactical focus he has, the discipline he has, and the respect he commands in the dressing room. Now, it's going to sound contradictory because what happened at Real Madrid, and Florentino Perez came out himself and said that it wasn't Xabi Alonso's fault. The players at Real Madrid are the problem. Whether people want to admit that or not, Real Madrid fans watching, whoever's watching, the players at Real Madrid have been the issue for the longest time. The days of Cristiano Ronaldo, the days of Karim Benzema, Gareth Bale, Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, Casemiro, Sergio Ramos, Marcelo, all these cats, right? Carvajal is leaving at the end of the season. There's no more Iker Casillas. There's no more Keylor Navas. You don't have these big personalities in there anymore that actually commanded respect. A lot of these players, yes, they've won the Champions League with Real Madrid, but the past 2 seasons, Real Madrid haven't done anything. They haven't done anything to their standards. They're supposed to be winning silverware. They're supposed to be going deep in the Champions League. But it's 2 straight seasons now. Hansi Flick at Barcelona has absolutely destroyed Real Madrid. Absolutely ruined them. Now Jose Mourinho is all but set to come back to Madrid. Is he going to be the guy to actually turn shit around? We will see, because the personalities at that club right now and the egotistical nature that a lot of these players have is ruining that club. And the fans at Real Madrid have every single right at the Bernabeu, have every single right to boo these players because they've fallen below expectations. They have wet the bed so much over the past few seasons. It's crazy. And they have a major decision to make on which player they want to build around, Vinicius Jr. or Kylian Mbappe. That's just the reality. You know, Valverde seems like he's going to be on his way out. Which club is going to come after him? Manchester City, Chelsea, Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal. Who's going to come after him? Bayern Munich? Valverde will be on the market. Now, Valverde and Xabi Alonso reportedly didn't have the greatest relationship. But that probably has everything to do with the state of affairs that dressing room has. Chelsea's dressing room issues have to do with the manager leaving and basically walking out on them because he wasn't getting what he asked for. What makes Xabi Alonso coming to Chelsea any different? How do we know that these owners are going to actually allow him to do what he wants to do, right? I mean, that's the whole point here, right? The manager needs to be able to take control of footballing decisions. And the footballing decisions that these owners have been making have been horrific. The best signings they've had under this ownership: Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo, Cole Palmer, Esteval, and Joao Pedro. That's 5 signings. And you've been here for 4 seasons. Those are the only signings that have actually come good, which is a disgrace. You've been here 4 years and you've only made 5 good signings in 4 years. That's not good enough, right? Chelsea are making positive talks with Alonso's reps, but the view internally is that it will be a big challenge to convince Alonso, who is seeking reassurance over his role before a final decision. Like I just said, you need to allow him to make decisions, or this appointment will not be happening, and Andoni Iraola will be the manager of Chelsea Football Club next season. That's just a fact. Now, do I want Xabi Alonso at the club? Absolutely. Absolutely, because I know what he would bring to the table. He wants to test himself in the Premier League, the best league in the world, for a reason. He comes because Arne Slot, I'm going to tell you this now. I just seen this right now. Where's that? Right here. Arne Slot, I have every reason to believe I will be the Liverpool manager next season. The plans for next season have been made. Talks ongoing between the club and new players that I am involved in. You see why he doesn't have a problem staying. Now, the Liverpool fans don't want him there anymore. They've had a nightmare of a season. Defending Premier League champions, just squeaking into the Champions League, not winning any silverware this season. Yeah, there's alarm bells ringing at Anfield right now, but he's a season removed from winning the Premier League. He won the Premier League, guys, because he had Jurgen Klopp's team and he allowed them to still play under Jurgen Klopp's style. He tried to implement his more possession-based style, and it's not worked out for him. Mo Salah is leaving at the end of the season, meaning it's going to be a new era at Liverpool. Van Dijk is going to be really the last of the old guard there, and Alisson, right, will be the last of the old guard there. Everybody else there is essentially new players. Arne Slot is going to end up staying there next season, and Liverpool fans need to stop twerking for Xabi Alonso, because Xabi Alonso more than likely will either be the manager at Chelsea, or he's going to seriously wait for Liverpool next season and see if Arne Slot gets sacked. In my opinion, Liverpool are going to be in the same position they're in next season. They just will. Because I think the fans are over him, and I think Arne Slot's lost the dressing room. The only reason why the Chelsea dressing room was lost this season was because you sacked Enzo Maresca. You still had him in the squad at the club. Now Chelsea would not be sitting 9th in the Premier League. And anybody that thinks that they would be sitting 9th in the Premier League is freaking delusional, bro. Like they really, really are, man. But for me, I want Xabi Alonso. That's just me. No, you're good, bro. Like, I just don't need people like typing like spam in the comments, man. Like, I don't understand that part. But if you have anything you want to like ask me or tell me, like, I'm always happy to answer it. I answer all the comments. People on Twitter, if you want to jump in here and do all that, bro, like, I will be happy to answer questions that I have for you guys. I'm not saying I know everything. I want to be able to engage with people and get other people's opinions on what I'm talking about. because I like to hear other people's perspectives on how I'm articulating things, honestly. Right. And then we go to like Chelsea Dodgers. It's the same thing. Chelsea and talks with Xabi Alonso are progressing well, and he appears to be a standout candidate given his pedigree, both as a player and early work as a coach. Right. I mean, it's like I said, man. Like, and it says here, persuading him to join us is going to be the biggest task. It really, really, really will, because he's looking for assurances that these owners haven't proven to even assure Thomas Tuchel, Pochettino, or Enzo Maresca, even Graham Potter. They haven't been able to do any of that. Why? Because the micromanagement from up top is at an all-time high. It really, really is. Right. And like, this is the stuff here that like, and I spoke on Rock Nation earlier on in this stream. Chelsea announces strategic partnership with Rock Nation Sports international partner. I'm not a fan of that, bro. Mostly because I don't fuck with Jay-Z. I think he's a horrible rapper, honestly. Like, I just don't think he's good. I can name 25 other rappers or 50 other rappers better than Jay-Z, bro. Like, it's crazy. And it says here, like, this part here is something that, is it PR? Is it something that they're trying to get the fans to actually, believe in? Players in the Chelsea dressing room are also said to be receptive of Alonso's candidacy for the Chelsea job. So the big players in that dressing room: Reece James, Levi Colwell, Enzo Fernandez, Joao Pedro, Moises Caicedo, Cole Palmer. Those players are going to be on side with that, because they know who he was as a player, and I'm pretty sure they paid attention to what he was doing at Bayer Leverkusen. They're not going to pay attention to what happened at Real Madrid, because it wasn't his fault and why he got sacked or why they parted ways. It wasn't his fault. Like I said, the issue at Real Madrid, outside of what Florentino Perez did a few days ago, are the players. And it's always going to be the players at that club. Until Jose Mourinho comes in and gets that dressing room in order, Real Madrid will always have issues in that dressing room. Chelsea are making positive progress in talks with Xabi Alonso, who is seeking assurances about the role before agreeing. Alonso has been bruised by his experience at Real Madrid. He doesn't want a repeat of what happened. But the difference with Chelsea and Real Madrid is, I don't think the egos are as big at Chelsea as they are in Madrid. I don't think it's that bad. They're just hurt and upset the fact that Enzo Maresca got sacked, a guy they believed in. And then I saw something from Nino yesterday, bro, that honestly, like, this is why he needs to stick to YouTube, bro. Where's his page at, man? Let me see if I can find it. Because he's a fool, bro. So here's another thing that just popped up as I refresh. The situation is expected to accelerate after Chelsea face Man City on. Actually, hold on a second. Let me get the right overlay for this real quick, actually. I'm showing this without my face, which is fine, I guess, but I still want to be able to have my face to these things. All right. The situation is expected to accelerate after Chelsea faced Man City on Saturday. They have tracked Xabi Alonso's progress since he's began his managerial career at Leverkusen in 2022. And they've been waiting for him to come on the market. I mean, he's been on the market since January. So, I mean, sure. Cool. And my preview for Chelsea versus Man City will be happening tomorrow. I might do it on stream, or I might make a separate video for that. I'm still indecisive on it. I'm speechless. This entire fan base is twerking for a one-hit wonder from the Bundesliga. Meanwhile, it's looking like they're selling the season's best player. An IQ test of this fan base would be embarrassing. I mean, there might need to be an IQ test on you, bro. Realistically. Jay-Z will rap about it. Yeah. Yeah, Joao Pedro and Enzo have been the best performers all season, but I think the IQ of you, bro, honestly does need to be studied. Like, no one is sitting here, like, the only one that seems to be embarrassing themselves outside of talking about the financial situation at the club is you, bro. And I don't care if you come after me. It doesn't really matter because I can care less about what you have to say. When it comes to the financial situation at the club, I'll listen to you. But everything else, bro, like, it's one year out the other. One year out the other, bro. Because I just don't agree with what you're talking about, man. At all. Eyes wide shut, merchants. I'm ready for war. Pussies, this ain't for you. So stay clear in your leg. Fuck blue coat. I mean, I agree with all that, bro. I really, really do. But again, a lot of you guys are just over here like abusing the hell out of Chelsea fans that are looking for optimism at the managerial position, bro. Like, if you want me to talk about Blue Co, I can talk about Blue Co, but I don't want to waste my time because we all continue to talk about it. And I keep saying this. Where were the protests earlier on in the season? Why are we doing this shit now? Why are we doing it on April 18th? Why are we doing it during an FA Cup final weekend? I don't understand it. I mean, I want to be educated on it rather than just being told, oh, you got no idea what you're talking about. No, I'm just asking a question. Like, honestly, like, why didn't we do this earlier in the season? Because we were winning. We were actually in good form. We had just come off the Club World Cup. That's why no protests were scheduled. And yeah, I shit on Alex Goldberg last week for calling him a clown, and he still is a clown. I still think that he is Blue Co-in on the low. But again, I've had this message for the longest time now. Blue Co out. I've been saying this. I've been saying this for 3 years. I got a podcast to prove it. So I don't need to be called no brown envelope. I can promise you this. You want to start calling me a brown envelope? Me, and those people could have a real face-to-face conversation on why you sound like an absolute idiot. Honestly, like I don't care, bro. Like, my channel's called No Filter Chels for a reason. I don't give a fuck, dude. I'll let you know what's up. I don't care. I know more about the sport than probably about 99% of this freaking app, dude. That includes the people who go to the bridge and watch these games still. I promise you that. Again, I'm on the road to 2,000 subs. Go ahead and smash the like, sub, share this stream. Make sure people hear what I'm saying. And I don't care if the people that I'm calling out jump in here and start calling my ass out. All you guys are keyboard warriors, bro. At the end of the day, that's what you guys are. I'm putting my face and my opinions out there for you to see who's actually saying these things. Like, I don't really care. It doesn't bother me at all. Because I care about the club this much, and I love Chelsea Football Club this fucking much, bro. And I'm getting tired of seeing fans in the fan base get abused for just talking about what they love, bro. Whether you're right or wrong, the abuse is ridiculous. It really, really is. So I'm gonna pull over to let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. Where you at? But yeah, I mean, the whole thing with Joao Pedro is very interesting. I don't see a world where he actually leaves because Barcelona is not going to be able to afford it. That's just me. It is felt that Xabi Alonso standing would be a plus when Chelsea tried to convince players to join. There's a growing sense within the industry that a deal will be agreed. So hypothetically, if he gets hired, what are you guys going to say then? What are you guys gonna say then? Oh, we don't want Xabi Alonso. You guys are missing the point on Blue Co out. Nobody is saying Blue Co shouldn't be out, bro. But if it goes south for Xabi Alonso, it's not going to be his fault. It's going to be the ownership, which continues to prove my point here. Doesn't matter who the manager is. Blue Co still got to go. like I don't think people understand that. Like, it's never been about the managers, and this is where I think people are just misunderstanding. And another thing, why am I not seeing these people get on the bigger Chelsea YouTubers for reporting news like this? Why is it only the smaller accounts? Why is it only the small accounts on Twitter? Why is it only that? Well, we're not seeing anybody attack Eunice. Why? Because he's well respected within the fucking community, bro, for a reason. He still Blue Co out, but he still wants a serious manager to come to the club. But he also has it in mind that there's no money. And he also has it in mind that no serious manager will come close to the club if the owners are continuing to be the way that they are. The managerial situation and the ownership situation are two different things. People are complaining about the players on the pitch and about how performances have dropped. You bring in a guy like this where at Real Madrid, like I keep saying, it wasn't his fault and why he got sacked. Or why he parted. I don't know why I keep saying sacked. He parted ways by mutual consent because he was tired of the bullshit. The players weren't playing for him. The players at Chelsea were playing for Enzo Maresca. The ownership got rid of him because he spoke out. This is the first manager that we're hearing, supposedly, that he's going to have some type of control over what players come in and out. And if you're going to call a guy a one-season wonder, it's hard to be a one-season wonder when you go undefeated in the same league as Bayern Munich, who have been ripping up the Bundesliga for the better part now of 15 years. That's not easy to do. It's really not.
Chaque semaine, il y en avait un qui partait.
La photo que t'avais.
French. Joao Pedro is open to joining Barcelona, but remains respectful of Chelsea and will leave only if both clubs can agree on a deal. But where are they getting this $100 million from? Like I want to know, bro. Like, where would they be getting this $100 million from right now? They don't have the money for that. At least in my opinion. Right? I mean, if we pull this up here, Joao Pedro is attracting strong interest from Barcelona, who are planning to begin negotiations to sign him for next season in the near future. It's like I said, I don't think he's leaving. But if you get $100 million for him, I still don't think it's enough. Like, I don't think that's enough. I really, really don't. And I'm not overpricing Joao Pedro. That's how good he's been this season. In a season where Chelsea have been dog shit, he's been the standout performer next to Enzo Fernandez. And yes, Enzo Fernandez has been better than Moises Caicedo this season. Anybody that thinks otherwise really hasn't been paying attention to how Enzo has been playing all season. Caicedo had a good first half of the season. When he got that red card against Arsenal, that's when his form dipped. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. The front runner. I mean, it's like I said, man. And then I wanted to pull this up too. Pull this down a little bit. Bro, no matter how ass Chelsea is, they somehow squeeze their way in the cup finals. They do it almost every year. So it's definitely not luck. It isn't. It isn't. It's a Chelsea thing, bro. It really, really is. But I'm trying to find what's his name? There he is. This guy Nino yesterday. So this is my problem with him. Fermin Lopez plus 60 million for Joao Pedro. Let's work, bro. No. No, come on, man. I saw this earlier, and then I was shocked that I thought I didn't see Bruno Fernandes in here. Bruno Fernandes will be the player of the season, guys. Everybody else here has had a decent season, a good season, but Bruno Fernandes breaking the assist record, he's the player of the season. In the drag Man United from 15th to 3rd, he's player of the season, bro. This man saved my club. Forever grateful, Arnie. I mean, he's essentially staying. But I'm looking for. This is another thing, bro. Has anybody ever thought that we haven't replaced Christian Pulisic? I'm an American, so like when he signed for the club back in 2019 or 2019, but he signed in January, and then his first season was a 20. Wait, no. He signed at the. God damn it! When did he sign again? Was it the end of 2018? Yeah, he signed at the end of 2018, and then he came in the summer of 2019 because he was there for the COVID season in his first season. We haven't found a guy to replace him. Could you imagine if Christian Pulisic was still at the club? He's better than Garnacho. He's better than Mudryk, and he's better than Jamie Giddens because he's playing well down at AC Milan right now, and I can't wait to see what he does with the US. This was the hat trick against Burnley. I remember every single goal, bro. When he finally scored his first goal for Chelsea, I screamed just as loud as he did. An American playing for Chelsea, bro, meant everything to me. Meant everything. And then seeing him lift the Champions League trophy in 2021 brought a tear to my eye, bro. It really, really did. I think he's missed big time. Those white jerseys though were actually nice, man. It's the header, boop, with a perfect hat trick. I do this, but this is what he did after the third goal. Who's the player that your team sold that still haunts them to this day? Yeah, I would say either Christian Pulisic or even right now. It's kind of crazy to say this, but even Kai Havertz, bro. Here it is right here. This guy thinks he speaks Italian, right? He wasn't an Enzo Maresca guy, but to do this, to mistranslate somebody when Italian isn't your first language because you didn't like the guy. This is why, bro, you might need to stick to YouTube, bro. Stop putting your takes on Twitter. It's crazy, man. Crazy. If you can leave one advice for Xabi Alonso before he takes the Chelsea job, what would it be? One piece of advice for him? I'd probably say you've got to get the fans back on side. Not necessarily like the players, because I think the players would snap back into it, but I think the fans, he's going to have to convince the fan base. And you're going to need to do something to do it. Whether it's winning silverware, whether it's in your first press conference, acknowledge the fact that Chelsea isn't where it's supposed to be, and I'm going to do everything I can. And it's not going to be PR bullshit from the ownership, because I think Xabi Alonso is his own man, and he's going to be able to say what he wants. Liam Rosenior was not going to be able to do that. Xabi Alonso is said to want assurances over certain elements, including a say over signings, but the indications are that Chelsea intend to give him what he needs. So I asked the same question, bro. Why didn't you do this for Enzo Maresca? When he actually won you guys something and got you what you guys were striving for, which was Champions League. I don't know. What makes Barcelona fans think Chelsea will sell Joao Pedro? I don't know. Matt Law wouldn't include the Xabi part for no reason, but I'm still not getting too excited. I mean, Alex, bro, again, it's not about getting excited. It's about just get ready for something to change at the management level. Honestly, I mean, I'll be gassed if he becomes manager, but you also have to keep your expectations pretty minimal at the end of the day. Xabi Alonso comes to this club at the bare minimum. Chelsea have to be in those Champions League spots. And I said this a few days ago. At the bare minimum, Chelsea need to be in those Champions League spots. And if they're in and around a position where they can push on and compete for a title, then they have to go do it. But you have to bring in the right players and you have to sell players to even fund these moves. This is why you will probably see a major overhaul and players being sold so Xabi Alonso can go get the players that he's asking for. You're going to have to sell a lot of players in the summer. I don't think anybody big is going to actually leave because I think Chelsea have too many players out on loan or they have deadwood in the squad that they can find homes for, realistically. See, that I agree with. Is during the Chelsea and Tottenham game, I think that's a more appropriate time to do the protest. But then again, you're gonna have people probably clip this and say, "Oh, look, check out this American fan that thinks he knows what's best for the club or whatever." Man, honestly, bro, go kick rocks. I think he's absolutely right. There is a time and a place to do these protests. Why you're choosing an FA Cup final day to do it? And it's like I said, where were the protests earlier in the season if you guys truly wanted Blueco out? Because Chelsea were in a good run of form. When Chelsea are in a good run of form, I don't see a lot of people calling out the ownership. I really, really don't. Maybe a select few. I have videos on my YouTube channel going back to January when the bad run of form started, calling for this ownership to leave. Now even then, I was saying that so at some point Chelsea, the players on the pitch have to turn it around. But when the ownership is as inept as it is and as retarded as it is, nothing was going to change. But where were the protests earlier in the season if you guys truly wanted Blueco out? Where was the protest last season? Where was it in the first season of this ownership? It wasn't there. Now we're doing it. That's what I'm saying. It's picking and choosing when you guys want to be upset about these things. I was calling this shit out 3 years ago, bro, on a podcast I used to do. And honestly, I may pick that thing back up so then I can have my thoughts on there as well. This is what I'm saying. Nobody is really talking about that at all. If Chelsea get Alonso, segment of the fan base will move the goalpost. It doesn't matter. We have no money to spend. Transfer window will be pants. Every team is a transfer window away from adding and subtracting 20 points from their existing total. One smart window changes a lot. And Alexis, this is what I've been saying. You hire Xabi Alonso, the people that are really pushing out the blue co-out agenda are just going to move the goalposts even more. Oh, well, there's no money to spend, so how is he going to get the support? You got to sell players. The players that aren't good enough to be up in the squad. Because he's probably telling them, I don't want Enzo sold. I don't want Caicedo sold. I don't want Palmer sold. Stevo, Joao Pedro sold. Reece James, Cole. I don't want them sold. But these players here, they need to find a way out. So then there's enough money to be brought in for me to bring players in that I know that can make this team better. Because I guarantee if he's the manager and we get off to a good start next season, the people that are calling for Blue Co out are going to be like, oh, wait a minute, Xabi Alonso is actually a great hire. Wait a minute, he's actually getting these players to play. Do not change up now. Don't do it now because all your receipts are on Twitter, bro. They're all there. Don't do it now. Which of these center backs should start together in the FA Cup final? Colwell and Wesley Fofana, honestly. Even though I don't rate West like that, I would probably have to start him. That's when you go into the transfer market. You can sell these two on the right and get a decent fee and then go get a Bastoni or somebody like that to come to the club, honestly. You had Mark Gay really in the palm of your hands, but you didn't want to offer him the wages, and you sold him to Crystal Palace when you had him in your ranks a few seasons ago. The only player who never dropped standards despite the shit show at our club. I respect it. I mean, since I arrived at Chelsea, I made it very clear because at Watford I played as a 10 and as a 9 at Brighton too. But since coming here, it's something I push for a lot. I wanted to play as the number 9. When you keep changing positions, you lose some of the feeling for the role. Since the start of the season, I've been working a lot with Chelsea staff, always trying to improve in some aspects. I feel a lot better playing as a striker close to goal, but I'm not that striker who just stands waiting in the box. I like participating in the game. I'm a participative number 9. I can build play and score a lot of goals too. And honestly, I've said this. Nicholas Jackson, where you at, bro? Where you at, man? Slide back to the club. Him and Nicholas Jackson as a strike partnership duo would have been electric, bro. Electric. And hopefully they don't make a decision to sell Nico Jackson. I believe he deserves a second chance at the club. Look, right here. Really want to see a 4-4-2 next season with Pedro and Jackson up top. Jackson can stretch the defense and take a ton of the pressing burden. Both can drop deep and carry as well. But you would have Nicholas Jackson be that advanced striker. Joao Pedro would be the guy that drops in, that links up with Cole Palmer, that links up with your Estevals or whatever, right? You would be able to do that. You really, really would. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully, Nico Jackson can find a way back into the squad and get reintegrated. Chelsea players believe Xabi Alonso is the ideal candidate to become their next head coach. Talks with Alonso's camp are moving in the right direction, and the feeling in the dressing room is that he is the man to. I mean, he probably is. He is the perfect 9 for Barcelona, but Chelsea aren't going to sell him. I actually want to hear what he has to say. Yeah, they're getting very uncomfortable with you, Johnny. Why? Because you're speaking the truth. Like you're speaking on what's really going on. That's why your YouTube channel got taken down, unfortunately. And then I'm glad you're able to restart that and still push out the message of Blue Co out. But still, my thing is this, and I've said this, I've been on record, I've had shorts on this, videos, posts on Twitter, whatever. Private equity doesn't belong in football. These American owners are trying to monopolize on the Premier League. And it's like he said here, I think he said 14 of the owners in the Premier League just have to be able to vote them out. Yeah, it is about Chelsea, bro. It's always been about Chelsea. We're trying to get our Chelsea back, bro. We really, really are. But I don't think it helps when people are abusive to other people online, though. I don't think that helps. I'm not saying you're doing it, but I'm saying there's people that you speak to that are doing that. Again, where does it give people a right to be abusive to people for reporting what they're hearing or giving opinions on it? There are people in the fan base that have completely flip flopped their opinions on Blueco. They have. Alex Goldberg is probably like the main guy right now that is doing that. When you're celebrating with the ownership after a Club World Cup win, and yeah, every single Chelsea fan, and you'll be lying if you're not, right? You guys were excited as hell when Chelsea destroyed PSG 3-0 because nobody expected that. No one did. But nobody could tell me that no Chelsea fan was happy after that. But celebrating with the owners, that's completely different. Who's been more impactful in the 25 26? Bro, it's not even a question. Esteval. Oh, excuse me. Esteval. The pyramid of the worst Chelsea strikers ever. Liam Delap probably is the number one. I think Tammy Abraham should be a bit lower, if I'm being real. Higuain should be up there. Alvaro Morata should be up there for sure. I think Lukaku should be above Aubameyang, bro. In my opinion. Jose Mourinho to Real Madrid is basically a done deal. He will be given a period of one season to prove he still has what it takes to manage a powerhouse like Real Madrid. I mean, he's going to have more than just that. Kylian Mbappe's mission is to score goals, and he scores a lot. Perhaps there are others who score fewer goals. Is that a shot at Vinny? Uh-oh. I don't want to start speculation there, but it might be. Shut up, bro. No shot. It says shocking news coming out of West Ham Facebook pages this morning. Crescencio Somerville has been sleeping, bro. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. Yeah, fake news, bro. I agree. PSG are interested in Valverde. They have contacted his entourage, bro. If he goes to PSG is just going to get better and better. Valverde is one of the best midfielders in the world, and he can also play at right back. So, oh man, that would be crazy. For as bad as Garnacho was for 40 million, who was a tribal chief of crap transfers, Mr. Mason Mount, 60 million, 250 a week, now moving to 300K. Good luck moving that contract. Best decision Winstanley ever made at Chelsea. At least he's home. I mean, Mason Mount, bro, he's lucky to be getting paid 300K, but he's not even starting. Good luck, bro. Hold on, guys. All right. Needed to give. Okay. Which is your favorite club? I'm a Chelsea fan, bro. Been a fan for over 25 years, man. And I got proof of it too. Like I just want people to know that I got proof of that too. I'd be so delighted if Barca signed Joao Pedro, which watch Madrid try to swap Valverde for Vinny or for Vitinha. I don't think PSG would sell him though. Vitinha's good, man. I don't think there was some, and PSG are gonna have the money probably to just get Valverde outright. Honestly, I mean, Luis Gomez, bro. Is Barcelona even in a good financial position right now to even sign somebody like Joao Pedro? I'm actually asking because I don't know the financial situation honestly, and given what we've heard in the past, I don't know if they're going to be able to afford him. And Chelsea are going to be asking for a shit ton of money. So I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, if I'm Chelsea, I'm not selling him. But if the player wants to move, then I think it's out of their hands. It's kind of similar to like Enzo Fernandez. If Enzo Fernandez wants to move to Real Madrid, he just has to say, I want to move here. You guys need to try to find a negotiation or a transfer fee for me. But there's also talks of him getting a new contract till 2035 with a pay increase. So I don't know, right? Go back over here real quick. I'll probably be on for another 5-10 minutes, and then I'm going to get off of here. I appreciate people on Twitter, not Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, all chiming in, all tuning in. I love the engagement. I'm on the road to 2,000 subs. If you haven't, drop a like, sub, share this stream, share the videos. I do upload shorts shortly after my stream, like to give people an idea of what I've been talking about. I did upload a short yesterday going after the keyboard warriors on this specific platform here on Twitter because a lot of you guys are pussies, bro. You guys really, really are. Like I feel comfortable enough to say that because again, I put my face to what I'm saying. A lot of you guys don't even do that. You guys don't. The Chelsea's recruitment structure is not about to change. The club have a team of 5 sporting directors. Yeah, we know that. That's why people are skeptical about the move. Realistically. Now, I'm gonna do one last thing here before I get off. Is I wanted to watch let me go ahead and find his channel real quick. Not George Benson. Even though I do like George, I just don't watch his I just don't watch his videos as much anymore. Because I'm more like linked in with Eunice, who I've actually had a few conversations with in the past, and he's seen my channel, and he's in him himself, and I can pull up the messages too, that I have the potential to go very far on this platform if I keep on being consistent and keep applying myself. This is from Eunice himself. So big up to him. I appreciate those words I got from you a few months ago. Hopefully you're still paying attention to what I'm doing here, because I feel like on this side of the pond, there needs to be a better voice than Alex Goldberg for the Chelsea community, bro. There really, really does. Let me go ahead and pull up my guy's video here. We'll go ahead and watch this all together, man. We'll go ahead and take a peek at his video, man. Like he said, guys, don't buy your stuff off the mega store. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's what I said earlier on. In Liverpool against Chelsea on Saturday, Liverpool were not good, bro. They had a good like 15 minutes, but once the 20th minute hit at Anfield, Chelsea were the better team. And generally, when Chelsea played Liverpool over the past few seasons, we've been outplaying them. Go back and check the tape. We've been more aggressive, more dynamic, and we've honestly created more opportunities. Yeah. Right. Right. This is the point here that I think a lot of the people that are against sh- against the ownership that they need to understand. There's no excuse right now to not get Xabi Alonso through the door. There's no excuse. At this point, if you don't get Xabi Alonso now, we're going to be continuing to go through the manager carousel and the mediocre managers that we're being linked with. This is the best option available right now. Luis Enrique is not leaving PSG. Hansi Flick is not leaving Barcelona. Vincent Company is not leaving Bayern Munich. It's not happening. Jose Mourinho is not returning to Chelsea. Thomas Tuchel is not coming back to Chelsea. Xabi Alonso is the best option available right now. None. He's right here. Right. Yeah. See, that's another thing. Forget about it. Yeah. Came from the same league as Florian Wirtz, bro. Because the ownership. You would laugh at that now. Levels. All right. Well, we took a look at his video. We took a look at all that. I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here for the day, guys. I'll have shorts uploaded in a little bit over my stream. I need to get ready for work. I start in less than an hour. But I appreciate everyone tuning in, chiming in, getting their opinions in. Like I said, I'm on the road to 2,000 subs. Go ahead and drop a like, sub, share this, get your comments in on the stream, which usually uploads 12 hours after I go live. Take a look at the shorts, all that stuff. Again, I want to say this. Chelsea fans, we do not need to be starting a civil war within the fan base. We need to be united in getting this ownership out. But at the same time, we shouldn't be upset if Xabi Alonso becomes the new manager at the club because all the top names are gone. No top manager is going to come to the club. So who do Chelsea fans want at this point? If your answer is Marco Silva, McKenna, Iraola, it's showing the mediocre levels you guys still want to have here. Xabi Alonso is not a mediocre manager. He's the tier below, like a Nagelsmann or wherever, right? Xabi Alonso would be a great hire for this club, and you would hope that assurances from the top are gonna actually be given to him, because if not, you might as well just go hire a McKenna, bro. Iraola. Go get Gary O'Neill from Strasbourg. You might as well just do that. But again, I'm Jason. No Filter Chels. Drop a like, comment, sub. Keep the blue flag flying high. Blue co out. Yeah, man. I'm out of here. Peace out. I will see you guys tomorrow for my preview for Man City and Chelsea at Wembley in the FA Cup.